Welcome back, and as we close out this week's show, go Jags!
Is there a good way to fire someone? I don't know. But if there is a bad way to do it, we saw a textbook example, if not a blueprint of it, in the way that Southern University handled the firing of Terrence Graves. Let's talk about it. This is HBCU Game Day, and you are listening to and watching Verified Sources with SJG. What's going on, everybody? This is Stephen J. Gaither, and if you're watching this, you already know what is the worst kept secret in not only the SWAC and HBCU football, but maybe even college football over the weekend, which is that Terrence Graves is no longer the head coach at Southern University. He has been relieved of his duties, aka fired, in the middle of his second season. This is something that's not new at Southern University. His predecessor, Eric Dooley, was fired in the middle of his second season back in 2023. Now, the circumstances of his firing have been very public and very much played out. I'm not really here to debate whether or not he should have been fired. I think, those of us who saw them play this season, including the MEAC SWAC Challenge where I saw them open up the season, you could kind of see that it was trending that way. But I think we do need to have a discussion about how it was done, and just the series of events over the last couple of days has been nothing short of unusual. I mean, even in the HBCU football world where we've seen so many different things. So, again, last season, in his first season, he had 8 wins, led the team to the SWAC West Championship. A lot of close games, a lot of games they barely got by, but they got by. Okay, fine. So we get into this season, and they lose the first game to a really good North Carolina Central team. The offense was stagnant. Get into a shootout with Mississippi Valley, of all teams, in game 2. They win that. They're 1-1, and they've lost 5 in a row. And their offense has been stagnant, and it's been hard to watch from afar, and I'm sure from by near. So a lot of people felt like this was inevitable, and a lot of people are not shocked. We're not going to be shocked if you would have said at the start of the season a couple weeks ago that potentially he could be removed during the season. But I think what I have an issue with, or one of the things that kind of strike me about this, is just the way that it was done. But let's kind of recap that. So we get into the last game, which was homecoming over on the Bluff. Southern University hosting Prairie View A&M. Again, Southern's offense has been struggling all year, and Saturday's game was no different. They only mustered up 3 points and a 24-3 loss to Prairie View A&M. So after the game, as every coach in America does, Coach Graves is out there, back addressing the media post-game, which is what coaches always do. And, so I think his name is Kevin Baptiste, one of the reporters down there in Baton Rouge on the ground. He later tweeted out this photo during the time he tweeted out this photo that showed Graves answering questions. But if you look over on the far left, you would see Roman Banks, the athletic director over at Southern University. And he was watching intently on the sidelines. Okay, I've never been to a post game at Southern University, so I don't know that he's necessarily there. But in Kevin's Twitter post, he said that this is something that he had not seen since he had been covering the team. So this was unusual. And then what followed was even more unusual. So Coach Graves gave his remarks, and suddenly Roman Banks stepped up and talked to the media about his coach's future. I'll let you guys look at the clip.
Leadership and fans that all expect more. And so, we're going to take Monday and evaluate the process. We have made some changes that we thought that would make us better, promoting Coach McNair to co-offensive coordinator. And I was hoping, we can get some energy in the room, but it seemed to not be working. And let me say this, a lot of times, coaching is funny. You can have some success here and then not be so successful some places and go. So it's not that you're a bad coach. I want to erase that, okay? It's about the right person for Southern University, the right coaching staff, and in our business, who can make your team win. That's the bottom line. And so my job is to evaluate the process. Do Coach Graves stay another day? You don't make decisions after a ball game. You sit down and you talk about it, because then in the room, for the student athletes, who give you the best chance to win the rest of your games? And are you comfortable with somebody in the room that can do that? And that's on the staff already if you did an interim situation. And so those are things that we have to discuss. Perhaps he may give us the best chance to win out, and then we let that stay in place, and then maybe we have to say that we going to move forward. It's just I need to speak with him. I need to speak to the student athletes. I need to communicate with them and kind of get down to the bottom of it. But obviously it's not trending well. We're not excited about it. And it's our job as coaches, and I've been in the business on that side before, so I understand, but it's our job to have the teams ready.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, this is where things started to really go south, because who does that? Again, clearly per Kevin Baptiste, this isn't something that Banks does himself. And I know I've never really known athletic directors to basically hold their own press conference after the coach's press conference to, make a statement, and especially to say, we're looking at, we're going to have some discussions about the coach's future. I mean, this is the type of thing that, sometimes it's talked about in back rooms. If you're lucky, maybe, and you have a relationship with the AD, they may kind of give you some of that insight. But to come out in public and be recorded in a pool of reporters and say, yeah, we're not excited, and we're going to be looking and talking with the leadership and things like that, why was that necessary? That's the whole premise of this video, just the way that this was conducted. Why was that necessary, right? Yeah, it's just like, at that point, he pretty much damn near said the man wouldn't be coming back anyway. He all but said that. And everybody across America, even as I'm sitting there listening to it to write it, I'm like, damn, he basically said the man's not coming back. Don't get used to seeing him come back. And so there was that. That was out, and that's what bled over from Saturday's game over into Sunday. And, again, it's no surprise. We had talked on our show, HBCU Road Warriors, which comes on every Sunday at 4 p.m. Myself and some of the guys had talked about coaches on the hot seat. And, Terrence Graves is one of them. And full transparency, Terrence Graves and I both are graduates of Winston-Salem State University. He's quite a bit older than I am. And I never really met him until he became the head coach over at Southern, but have had interactions with him over the years. Good guy for sure. But I get it. This is a results business. I get it. This is a results business, and being someone who's in the media, it's our job to seek information, find the information, and disseminate it to people. And part of that is discussing the jobs of the coaches. Because fans want to know, there are people with interest that want to know. So it's our job. And sometimes we speak out and say, we may speak out and say, hey, people are saying that this guy needs to be fired. Sometimes media people may actually come out and say this person should be fired, which is not an easy thing to do for sure when you have to go back and look people in the face afterwards. You have to kind of choose your words carefully. we've been going through that on our own as well at Winston-Salem State University. So, because these coaches are people, right? They have families, they have loved ones that care about them. And again, we're in a performance-based business, but you keep that in mind, and they're people with dignity. And so as a reporter, sometimes it can be kind of hairy because you have to ask questions and you have to probe for information. That's our job, right? But as a athletic director and an athletic administration, it's your job, obviously, to manage folks who are in these positions, but also you kind of expect for the athletic administration to shield coaches from this situation. And, if that's a conversation, because I don't even know if the two of them had that conversation. And maybe they had, but it's like, why would you put that out there to the media right after this loss? I mean, again, basically saying that this guy is not going to be here, right? So you did that, and over the next couple of hours, things began to simmer. And of course, on Mondays, the way things work in the HBCU world and college football world and the media in general is on Mondays, or sometimes Tuesdays, coaches will have press conferences, talk about the previous week and talk about getting forward to the next week. And part of that, those are in person, and now some of them traditionally were via teleconference call, and now they are via Zoom. So there's a MEAC coaches call and a SWAC coaches call. And, we at HBCU Game Day are on those, as well as other folks in the media too. So, everybody was kind of interested to see what would happen. Again, after what we had just saw, everybody is expecting, everybody doesn't know whether or not Coach Graves is even going to show up or be allowed to show up and represent Southern University, given the comments that we had just heard from Roman Banks. But it turns out that he actually did show up and spoke about the comments. He was asked by Wild Bill Cartwright. Here's some of what he had to say there, and some other folks as well.
I just really want to ask, just as the losses and calls for your dismissal continue to mount, I want to know, how is this season being 1-6? How's it worn on you personally, professionally, spiritually, all that good stuff? And if you think a big finish to this season is enough to silence all of that.
Well, I'll answer the last part first. Finishing strong and finishing big will be great. I don't know if it will totally silence everybody, but it would be great. How it's affected me personally is that I'm a competitor, and certainly I would rather be 6-1 than 1-6. But the reality is we're 1-6, and it's not that we don't have a good football team. It's just things. It's just one of those years of many factors, and things are just not coming together at this time. But spiritually, I'm fine. I'm a strong man of faith. So I'm at peace with who I am and whose I am. So that I don't waver on that. Of course, you always want to do your best. Certainly I didn't expect us to be in this position. We didn't expect to be in this position, but we are in the position. And then, as I always say, you have two choices in life, and you either you put your head down and you go, woe is me, and allow life to consume you, or you keep your head down and you keep working and you fight through it. Because if you eventually fight through it, then you'll come out better on the other side. So that's how things have been going.
Well, Coach Graves, I appreciate that answer very, very much. And good luck to you this week as you guys look to snap a 5-game losing streak against FAMU. I know you'll be fired up.
All right. Thank you.
This question goes to Perry Daniels.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are you?
Super fantastic, Coach. I don't say this lightly. It is good to see you this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I want to mention a quote here, Coach. And there's a quote that says that greatness starts with tough conversations in the mirror. Can you give us a glimpse of what that conversation would sound like for you?
A glimpse is, you just, for me, would be, I got to be better. I got to be better for us to be better. And that starts with, one of my good friends and the man that I worked for at another school, Project Fobbs. He used to always say, scratch where it itches. And so that's the thing that I take with me. I got to scratch where it itches, and whatever needs to be fixed. That's what we work on to get fixed. You got to start with yourself. How much better, regardless of circumstances. You never hear me complaining about those things because, like I said, this is a collision sport, not a contact sport. So injuries, even though some may be more, more severe than others, but at the same time, it's next man up. And so, just looking at how to do some things in terms of turning this thing around, the strategies, and just looking at everything from A to Z. And so that's how that would look.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Good morning.
Good afternoon. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Oh, it is good afternoon. Good call. Quick question. After the game, Athletic Director Roman Banks said there's going to be conversations to have over the weekend. Has he spoken to you, and has he informed you of your future as Southern's head coach?
We've talked. We had conversations every week, and we talked. And as I said, as of right now, I'm the head football coach at Southern. Business as usual. I'm doing a conference call. I'm headed on. When I get off of here, I'm headed to do the coaches show. We'll have meetings tonight. We have practice tonight, all like we do every Monday night. And so it's business as usual. Until something changes, then I'm just gonna still do what I do.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow.
All right.
All right, so there you have it. Now, at this point, it's right around noon in the middle of the day, right around noon, the middle of the day, Central Standard Time, where Coach Graves is in Baton Rouge. And so from that, he left and went to his coach's show as he said that he was going to do. And he was asked again there about the remarks, and here's what he had to say.
Paige, got to ask you, Athletic Director Roman Banks addressed the media after the homecoming game in regards to your job. What can you tell us that is happening in regards to you remaining as a Southern University head coach?
Well, we talked, and we had some conversations, and we'll have some conversations again today. But it's business as usual. I did the SWAC Coaches Conference show call earlier. I'm doing this show, and we're gonna meet, and we're gonna have practice tonight, like we always do. So it's just ongoing, just trying to find ways to, or what's the best way to try to get this thing afoot. Of course, I'm the head football coach until told otherwise, and you always want to have an opportunity to, if things aren't going well, you always want to have an opportunity to right the ship.
Correct.
But in this day and time and landscape of college athletics, that's not always the case. And so whatever that looks like, we'll move forward and do what's best for the program and ourselves.
Well, Coach, of course, we want to wish you the best on that and hope you have the opportunity to finish out the season and end up in the SWAC championship. When we come back, we're going to close out this week's edition of the Jaguar Football Show with Coach Terrence Graves.
So there you have it. Just a couple hours after that awkward scenario, we had the announcement that Fred McNair will be taking over as the interim, as Coach Terrence Graves is going to be relieved of his duties. So that is the future. That's what's forward for them. But just a bizarre scenario, a series of events since Saturday that we have witnessed. And man, I just don't know. You think you've seen everything, and then you see this. Again, should Graves have been terminated after 2 years? Some people say, hey, it's too soon. He hasn't really had a cycle. Some people say, hey, you know what? It was time. That's debatable, especially folks who are fans of a university and seeing your university not perform up to your expectations can be very hurtful. It can be very aggravating. So, that's really not the thing here. But my thing is, man, is there a more embarrassing way to be let go? I just feel like, Terrence Graves, the person, deserved better than what he got from his administration. Again, I mean, from that press conference on Saturday, it seemed like his fate was already sealed. But he had to, he was still walking around and with the assumption, or it had not been communicated to him based on the statements that he made, that he was going to be let go. And so, it's tough. It's a tough business in general. It is a results business. And, certain places you have expectations, and Southern clearly is one of them. They have high expectations. They also have high payments that they are paying to now former coaches. I did a deep dive on HBCUGameday.com as to what was and is still owed to Eric Dooley, who was removed previously, and now what will be owed to Terrence Graves based on the contracts that are available online. So go check that out. Go read that. Let me know what you think. But I just think that, Southern University, if you're going to make the change, fine. But this was probably the most bungled, if that's the right term, firing of a coach. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good to see. Everybody knew it was coming. And then you only make it worse when you make that statement 2 days before you actually pull the plug. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. This is definitely one that folks are going to be talking about. And again, this is something we talked about a couple weeks ago. Hot seat is the nature of the business. Again, but we're journalists, so we talk about these things. So let me know what you guys think about that situation. We're currently in mid-October, so it's a big week for HBCU football. I will share. I just had a chance to. I am wearing some WSSU gear. Getting a chance to represent a little bit. Just coming off of homecoming. We'll talk about this since verified sources. We kind of covered things. On the field and off the field. Homecoming is an amazing experience for anybody who's gone to an HBCU or is connected to them in the community. Again, we just had a great time over at Winston-Salem State. We won our game, so shout out to the football team for getting that dub. It was a great tailgate as always. Really one of the most underrated homecomings on the planet. I'm gonna put that on anybody, but it was just great to get a chance to have that experience, to see classmates and supporters and get those encouraging words from them. There's always something that I look forward to, and just the vibes that are out there. A time where for Black Americans, for sure, there are so many things that threaten, just our existence, or, the things that we have and the things that we put in place. Our institutions are a beacon of light for us. And, it's unfortunately we've been dealing with not a lot, but some instances of violence, including some shootings and some things around those. And we know that those aren't always, or they're usually not people who are directly connected to the school. But, you put so many people in one place and, you're kind of, you really don't know what you're going to get. So thankful that everybody at Winston-Salem State was able to go home safely. and things like that. And my thoughts and prayers are with everyone else as they continue to celebrate their homecomings as well, because there is so much really great things that are going on at HBCUs now. And, one of the things that I kept hearing at homecoming, I heard a lot of, I always get a lot of support and a lot of positivity to what I'm doing with HBCU Game Day and what HBCU Game Day is doing, and that's always great. But this past week, I never had as many people come up to me and tell me about a specific thing, especially that not only that I said, but that I wrote, touched them. I wrote last week a commentary about Stephen A. Smith, The Truth and Black Women. So I hope you guys check it out if you haven't already. But basically, we're just talking about myself as someone who came to my alma mater, Winston-Salem State University, where also Stephen A. Smith attended, followed in his footsteps, and really looked up to him. Some of the a lot of the disappointment and a lot of the disillusion with a lot of the positions he's taken, and specifically how he has dealt with Black women and Black people in general as he continues to make his meteoric climb. And I got a lot of comments from classmates and from people who are older, but definitely from my classmates who, we all looked up to Stephen A. Smith because he was, somebody who made it from not only an HBCU and not only our HBCU but from our department, and, really became, one of the biggest figures in media. So there was a pride with that, and he would come back and he would give back, and he's given of his money. He's also helped raise money too, but there's always those, a lot of the positions that he takes and some of the ways that he moves that, have left all of us feeling kind of a similar space. And so I've gotten a lot of really great words about that from, just everyone. So I want to thank everybody who took the time to read it. If you haven't already, please go take the time to read it. Let me know what you think for yourself. But this has it's been interesting. We'll see. This has been a great football season so far. Looking forward to the back stretch of it. But it's been a while since I gave you guys a verified sources episode. But I figured now is as great a time as any because, again, the situation with Terrence Graves just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's actually rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But again, this is a results business, and we wish him luck. Southern University, of course, they're going to turn the page. They still got a chance to maybe get to 500. They got 5 games left. They're in the SWAC West, so anything's possible. So I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. Thank you. If you've gotten this far, please, if you have not already, go ahead and hit that like button. Or if you're listening to this on our podcast network, go ahead and give us a 5-star review and maybe a comment as well. So I appreciate you guys so much. You are watching and listening to Verified Sources with SJG.